Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to MRC on a Wednesday night. It is 8:45 in the evening, UK time, which means that it is time for the final time this season for the Xtreme tier, the season finale at the Yas Marina circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. It's the Xtreme tier, which is the no assists tier in MRC. So these guys are running absolutely none of the in-game assists, and it's truly the ultimate test of driving on this game. My name's Nev, and I will be taking you through the action here tonight. And joining me for this race is none other than LRL. So LRL, good evening to you, and how are you doing?
Good evening. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm really happy to be back in the consoles. It's been some time. I think it's the first time for me this year. So yeah, very nice to be with you and to have, so to say, one last dance in this MRC season in MRCX today.
Yeah, and if it's first time this year, then I suppose Happy New Year as well, even if it is a bit,
Yeah, Happy New Year. Yeah, it's
bit.
weird. It's weird to say this still, but yeah, it's actually Happy New Year. Yeah.
Yeah, and we have got a slightly reduced grid for this race tonight. Unfortunately, only 13 drivers, but excuse me, looking at the list of names, there is certainly not a lack of quality here. The likes of Chris Bailey, Anthony, Jules, Bobo, Saviour. It's a really nice grid that we've got for this race, so it should be an absolute cracker.
Well, I think so too. I mean, you can be sure that still the group is going to be very close together. And well, if you have Xavier and Chris driving, you know that there are at least two drivers uh, who are going to battle throughout the whole race. Basically, they are always finishing within a second. I think I didn't count it, but it happens regularly. So yeah, we're gonna see a lot of nice fights between those as we are used to.
Yeah, definitely. And with the night race, obviously at Abu Dhabi as well, that's a bit of, I don't know, something about the races at night. They just do feel a bit more dramatic, a bit more intriguing, even if the Abu Dhabi circuit might not be a favourite for many of the drivers, but it's kind of grown on me a little bit, I'd say, over the years. It's especially since the changes that were made a few years ago now. I feel like that sort of livens up the racing a bit more and makes it feel a bit faster as well, this track. So I'm starting to come around to this circuit.
Mm. Well, the changes made the track. It increased the flow of the track. It's much faster now and maybe a bit more of my favorites to be honest. And I am not very fast at it. So yeah, unfortunately for me, always the last race of the season usually isn't one of the best. But other drivers might feel different about this.
Yeah. Well, good news for you then is that I think for next season it's going to be a bit more of a mixed up schedule in terms of the tracks. Probably only going for the ones that the majority of people like, and should mean that we'll have more of the fan favorites. And maybe I'm in the minority for liking this one, so maybe Abu Dhabi won't be in the schedule for next year, but I guess we'll see. As we've got quite a few drivers out on track at the moment, looking to set lap times. This is going to be well, we're almost halfway through the qualifying, 18 minutes of qualifying, and then a 50% race distance, which around here, I forget how many that is. Is it 28 laps?
29, I believe.
29. Okay. As we see Bobo going on pole position for the time being with a low 1 minute 23 lap time. Good evening to Martin and Steve. Good to see you both out there for this race. And in fact, we are just on board with Kaiser Soze as he is in the third sector in the Red Bull. 1 corner to go. And this looks like being a reasonable time. 1 minute 24.4 puts him in 4th place at the moment. And one of the
Having a
men,
look at Xavier at the moment, he's on his
yeah,
flying leg. A little rear was sliding a little bit there, but still look nice. The final sector is really difficult on this track, in my opinion. He's taking it well so far. Just the final corner to go, and 23.3. That's a decent lap, but I think he can go even faster.
yeah, and it's looking fairly tight at the top at the moment. Just a couple of tenths separating the top 3, and even less for the front row. Bobo and Anthony separated by 18 thousandths of a second at the moment. So very, very competitive between those guys, and hopefully that will continue as this session unfolds. And obviously Chris did, as usual, did his first lap of the session on the medium tyres.
Traditions.
Yeah, and that should mean that he will be quite a bit quicker than that, and he's on his outlap at the moment with a set of soft tyres, so that should bring him into play.
I don't know if it's tires and maybe get to the groove a little bit, or if it's just something that he believes is bringing luck, or I don't know why he does it actually. I never asked him. Maybe I should.
Yeah, well, let's ride on board with him as he begins his second flying lap on soft tyres. Looked steady through turn 1, and now this fast section down to the famous corner where Max Verstappen made his lunge for the World Championship back in 2021. Chris taking quite an early apex there, and then onto the first DRS straight as he's got a slow car just on the left hand side but stays well out of the way. Down to the braking zone here for turns 6 and 7, that little left right complex before the second DRS straight. And Chris into the second sector, just coming up to the timing board there, and he's up by almost 0.2 of a second, and through this long left-hander, replacing the old section of the track there where there was quite a few corners. But now towards the hotel, and famously the track goes underneath the hotel, and then a left and a couple more rights left to go in this lap for Chris Bailey. Driving the Haas tonight, which I don't think I've seen Chris driving a Haas before. But anyway, he's up to the line now, and he's going to slot in just behind Xavier, literally 1,000th of a second.
I mean, I told you they are always together, like so close. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know what their girlfriends are thinking about this, but they have a really close relationship. And he's taking the old part of the track. No, Chris, that's not how you do it. But just wanted to drive the old chicane. I can understand him in a way.
Yeah, maybe they share setups and, the driver tips and all sorts of things to be as close as that. But it certainly makes the racing very exciting for us, as we're just seeing Smith.
Yeah, insane. Like these two drivers are literally on on one level, like literally. I can't tell who's faster. Every race, it's somebody else who's just very slightly ahead.
Well, Saviour's coming out to try to assert himself a bit on Chris again, and Anthony as well. Bobo is on a lap.
Xavier just gave Jules a very nice slipstream, so there's some. They're not driving the same car, but there's some German team play going on there. See if it's help Jules.
Yeah, I think they quite. Oh, Bobo with a spin in sector 3 when he was improving, and almost at the same time, there goes Jules into first.
Oh yeah, it helped. Well, we will never know whether Bobo would have improved his lap as well. No, Xavier's on the lap. Let's see if Jules is gonna return the favor. But Jules is such a nice guy. I'm pretty sure he's gonna do it.
Yeah, looks like he is.
Yeah, he does.
And then dives out of the way so that Xavier can get a clear line into the next corner. And I
really like this about this league. Although you're battling hard and on track, you're like your opponents, you're still trying to push each other. You know, everyone's trying to improve, and people are genuinely happy for you. I think if you succeed or if you are improving, if you're getting faster. Really just about the experience. Of course, now MRC is not tier 1. I don't know if they would have done it in tier 1 if they're not teammates. Oh, but Xavier has abandoned his lap. He invalidated it. So.
Yeah, he did, and he was on for a big improvement there as well, so that's a shame.
Well, nothing, unfortunately.
Anthony also is coming into the pits, so yeah, apart from Jules and Chris, none of the front runners really getting it together on their second run. And Bobo said in the chat he on his lap, so that would have been probably enough to go back into provisional pole, but he's got time to go again. And it's quite quiet out there at the moment, but Chris is coming round for his third lap of the session. And there's still 4 minutes left. So quite a bit of time, still a bit of track evolution, I think, to come as well. So the grip should be improving all the time for these guys. But we'll just follow Chris around and see what he can do. Need about 4/10 to get himself up to where Jules is. And a small improvement through the first sector. A little bit of locking up into the hairpin, but I don't think that will slow him down. I'm getting this weird, like, haze graphic effect on that first DRS straight. I don't know why. I've never seen that before, but looks a bit weird on the stream.
Yeah, I'm seeing it too. It looks as if there's smoke on the track, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Maybe there's a new. It's actually there all the time. Yeah, it's. I don't know, but this game has a lot of features that I don't understand. Probably never
Features.
will.
Yeah, features in you know, in inverted commas, I think.
Yeah, whatever. There will be a reason for it.
Absolutely. As Chris does go P2 with a 23, well, that's basically a 23-1. And some of the front group are not coming out of the pits yet. I guess the lap here is fairly short now, so they've still got time. But we are coming close to the end of the session. They might want to get a move on. Yeah, we've got Saviour back out, Anthony, Bobo, and Jules. Yeah, they are all coming out now, but they have left it very late. Anthony is going to struggle to get round here. He's only got a minute and a half to go in the session. He's going to have to put his foot down. Meanwhile, Soze is on another lap, currently sitting in 6th place. And just kind of in the gap at the moment between the front 5, who are sort of the traditional leaders, you feel, the guys who you expect to be up at the front, and then Soze leading the best of the rest. He's a bit off his best, actually, so I think maybe this is just a warm-up lap for the final attempt, because he's got plenty of time to get round and go again.
Yeah, I think they have to hurry up. At least the last ones. Yeah, it could get tricky for Ant. Oh, I think no, I think he's gonna make it.
Let's just see. It will be close, but he is going to make it, yes. With 3 seconds left on the line, he gets round.
Very well timed. So Armaguet is gonna be the first one. He's up half a tenth on his time, just entering the final sector.
Yeah, it might get him up ahead of Lou, who sits in 7th at the moment. See if he can just nail this last sector. To the line he comes, and he does pip Lou by, again, a very tight margin, 13 thousandths of a second. Chris will be next.
What's Chris gonna do? It's
He
not
actually,
improving.
no, is that single track next? Oh, single track was next, and he got up to 6th. Saviour up to
Xavier.
2nd. Who is it next? Oh, Jules
Volvo has
invalidated.
invalidated, and now we're just waiting for Ant.
Can he make a late bid for pole position? Oh, so
By
close.
20,000. Oh my god. Wow.
Wow. These guys, man, every time we say it, and yeah, just proved right once again. Half a tenth between the top 3, and then you've got Chris only another tenth behind, and Bobo in the end only P5 when he was on that great second lap that he ended up crashing out of. But that will be disappointing for him, I feel, to be down in 5th after the time he could have had.
Yeah. Even more was possible. Wow. But the top 3 within half a tenth. Insane how close these guys are.
Yeah, it certainly bodes well for the race, despite a slightly smaller grid, as we've mentioned. But let's just run through it. It is Jules on pole by 3/1000ths of a second from Anthony. And then Saviour just half a tenth back in third. Chris in P4 just ahead of Bobo. And then Single Track and Kaiser Soze very close together as well. And then Armored and Lou also very close together in 8th and ninth. Laupi just a tenth further back. And then we've got Smith in 11th, Scottish Ninja in P12 and B17, rounding off the slightly smaller grid in the Red Bull in 13th place. And Lou has come in and said he invalidated at the end of his lap, and he was 4/10ths up as well, so he could have been a bit closer to the front as well, but plenty of time to make it up in the race. And the same for Bobo, who's disappointed with his quali, but determined to fight back in the race itself. And it will now be a break of about 5 minutes before we get underway for this race, and a moment maybe for me and LRL to discuss a few other things. And I guess one thing when it comes to the end of a season, how would you rate your season, LRL?
Can I use some hard language on this channel? I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to. I mean, I wrote it in the chat as well. I'm really glad that it's over. It was by far the worst season I've had in MRC, and yeah, even like my race in Tier 1, my final race on Monday here on this track was finishing last, spinning 3 times. It was a mess. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't performing well, to be honest. Tier 1 has improved so much that unlike maybe a few seasons earlier, you cannot just show up for the race and expect to fight for points without having lots of practice and a well-tuned setup. Um, it has just become so fast. There used to be a time where I could do this and still be in the points, but that's not possible anymore. So it's not like I tried everything. Very often I didn't have much time and so on, but uh, I was also just really, really unlucky. Like I scored only 1 point the whole season, and I made mistakes more often. Usually I made few mistakes, but this season, like for example in Monza and Qatar, I messed it up shortly before the end of the race. I would have got some points, but I was also really unlucky. Like I think 5 or 6 times in like 9 races that I participated in, I finished in P11, like just outside of the points. It was, yeah, a mixture of being very unlucky and also being slow. Like this game is not for me, this one, at least so far. But
Yeah.
I'm motivated to practice more for next season, so I hope it will be will get a little bit better. But what about your season? How would you describe it?
Much the same, to be perfectly honest. Not enough time to practice, not enough time to really understand with the setup what's needed. I found there were quite a few races this season when I just have really horrible tire wear during the race and just not really understand why that was happening. So it just completely ruined a couple of races for me. Um, and yeah, I don't like the handling in this game at all. It's
Um,
just it just really doesn't suit me. Um, compared to certainly compared to last year, and even like 22. I know a lot of people didn't really like the handling in 22, but it actually suited me a lot better than the way it is in this game. Certainly in terms of trying to maximize your pace and being fast, and fast enough to keep up with the tier one boys, because yeah, as you said, it really has come up in this season, and yeah, bit of a shame, but you know, it's difficult to, especially when you have other priorities and things. It's difficult to find the time and
Yeah,
prioritize.
it's hard to imagine, but there are other things in this world than MRC. So
Yeah, I know,
really,
right?
like some people here are, we are not getting paid to do this, so we also have to work, guys. So
Yeah, yeah,
we're not there yet. And uh, believe it or not, some people uh, of us also even have girlfriends. Yeah, it sounds insane, but there are people in MRC with girlfriends. So yeah, we cannot
no,
practice
I
it
don't, I
legally.
don't believe it. Don't believe it.
No, that's it's it's true actually. It's hard to believe, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, enough of this. Enough of this line of inquiry. We've got a race to focus on. We've got a bit of a mix on tyres. 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 13 are on the mediums, and 5 are on the hards for the start of this race, including Anthony and Chris in second and fourth. So it could be a bit mixed up with safety cars and the like, as usual. Same old recipe. But I don't imagine the soft tyres are going to get a lot of use around here tonight, unless we get a very late safety car.
Yeah, different strategies, yeah, but I don't think we're gonna see soft tires. That's true. Okay, so we're about to start.
Yeah, we are. And for once, we actually have a really good camera angle of the start with the lights and all of the drivers. This is unusual for F1 24. But anyway, 4 and 5 red lights are on for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. They are out, and we get underway. And immediately, Bobo seems to have got a better launch than Chris, but Chris with the inside line into turn 1. It's as you were at the front as well. Smith and B17 changing positions. Armour red, I think, and B17 have both had some issues in the first couple of corners, but up front the order is pretty much unchanged, apart from Bobo getting ahead of Chris for P4. There could be some overtaking at the end of this long straight. Saviour having a look, and Anthony braking a bit earlier, so allowing Saviour to take that place up to second. Bobo and Chris still fighting. Bobo holding on to it for the time being, and Single Track is right alongside Chris now, but just a little bit too far back.
Yeah, very important for Alex to get past and on the medium while I have the hard tires. So I guess this beginning is gonna be a bit faster than him. Shows that Bo was also right on his back already.
And the entire field pretty much in DRS except for Armar Red and B17. B17 actually coming into the pits. So that might be a wing change. But yeah, you can see on the track map the rest of the field just absolutely close together. And it's going to be another one of those races, I feel, where the DRS train is absolutely king. Especially up at the front, and Saviour, having said that, is going around the outside of Jules into the lead with the aid of that DRS. Anthony and Bobo running very close together as well, and Chris with his hard tyres just within a second, but just a little bit off of Bobo at the moment. Anthony and Chris have just got to be patient for now as their tyres get up to temperature as Saviour sets the fastest lap.
It's got a very good exit now. Nice. Try and move. Yeah, Alex not fighting him. First of all, he has a chance to come back at him now, and also it doesn't. You also got to play the loose one tactically. Yeah, he backed out of it as you can see. So at this stage of the race, maybe not the most important thing to be in first place, especially if you are not able to break the DRS.
Oh,
Although, little mistake from Jules, he looked up a little bit there. Actually, Bobo and Dan was very close together.
yeah, and Bobo actually went over one of the bollards and had the bollard stuck under his car for a moment. It's gone now, but that might have affected his performance a bit as Anthony and Bobo both go off at the exit of turn 1.
Hamilton,
Yeah.
that was also the Mercedes. Who says this game isn't realistic?
Didn't seem to affect Bobo's car performance quite as much, but yeah. Video games mirroring life as Saviour is going to come back at Jules yet again. And now Chris having a look at Bobo. Oh, he went deep into the braking zone, and luckily Bobo just let him go by and came back after the apex of the corner, and he resumes 4th place. But this is really going to be the setup for the race. I feel this, with the DRS, it's going to be a lot of switching between the front drivers, and really you've just got to make sure that you stay in this pack. If you lose the DRS, they are just going to pull away from you. And we've got a lovely helicopter view at the moment of this train, which is all the way back to Lou in P9 in the Aston Martin. Bobo going around the outside of Anthony before turn 5, and he finally gets that move done. So the two hard tyre runners up at the front, Anthony and Chris, losing out a bit in this early phase, but their tyres will come back to them the longer this stint goes on. And Lou has got past Lorpy as well for 8th. Do you know, Stefan, how long the medium tyres should last around here?
Well, I think they should last at least 10 laps. So that's for sure, rather 12 laps, I think. Maybe you can also stretch them to like 14 or 15 laps, but I think at least at that point it maybe makes more sense to just pit. Say, oh, single track and case are going side by side through turn 2 and 3. Wow. Not a place where you launch an overtake.
Yeah, and Kaiser finally getting it done. Oh,
It was a
safety car. I think that is for Scottish Ninja.
Scottish Ninja. Oh yeah, he's has no front wing. Well, that's really good news for B17. Now back in the race, basically.
Yeah,
But I'm wondering whether I'm not sure how long the hard tires last, but I'm not sure whether uh, maybe it's too early to pit for hard tires at this stage.
yeah, I would have thought so. But you never know. Certainly, Anthony, Chris, Lou, Smith, and Armour Red, I wouldn't expect them to be making a pit stop right now. But let's just see as Xavier and Jules are coming in, and Bobo. So yeah, they've all decided to switch off the mediums. It's basically all of the medium runners except for Soze that have come into the pits. So they obviously didn't fancy another 6 or 7 laps on those tyres. But the question really now is, do the hards have what it takes to make it to the end of the race? Or will we see another safety car, which obviously, I mean, that one Scottish Ninja broke a front wing, which is not a huge accident really, so certainly feels like there could be another one if it's going to come out for smaller incidences.
It makes that makes it very interesting. Well, I would be curious to see how fast they're still gonna be at the end of this race with hard tires. That would be 22 laps worn. Yeah, more than 20 laps. So I think it's not impossible, but they will have to look after the tires.
It's probably going to be another lap before we get going again, just to allow Ninja and B17. Oh, and actually, is someone else at the back there coming in? No, I think they were just weaving. It looked like they were going into the pit lane, but they were just weaving to keep some heat in the tyres. I just wonder for Soze what that tyre wear is going to feel like when we get going again. Was what just happened there between Anthony and Chris switching positions for a moment? Chris trying to give Anthony a bit of a hurry up behind the safety car.
Yeah, I don't know if he's trying to warm up his tires or what the plan is.
That will be a problem with the hards. It's almost impossible really to heat them up when you're going so slowly behind the safety car. So that is one aspect where Kaiser might have a bit of an advantage when we do get going again. There we go, safety car in this lap as the field has bunched up right down to B17 at the back. So it will be Anthony now backing things up for as long as possible and waiting for the best moment to get away. just see from Chris's perspective when Ant does go, and there he goes to get us back underway again. At the start of lap 9 as they come over the line, and Lou in the background has spun out of the final corner, and that's a big shame for him. He was in a great spot down in P4, but he has gone all the way to the back, unfortunately. With that one, he will be kicking himself. And then
very unfortunate indeed. Oh, I had a place as well. And see if anything happened there. Meanwhile, Chris is taking the lead from him. Yes, it's very powerful. It's great.
a huge group of cars going side by side. Oh, who was that? Was that Armour?
Armour. Yeah. Armour. Oh, I know that place. Happened to me as well there, but I don't know whether it was during the fight. Meanwhile, Ant, he takes the lead.
This is an opportunity for Ant and Chris to work together, I think, and because they've got the gap to Soze over a second with DRS enabled now, so they could work together potentially to pull away.
Oh, single track. Smith going out. Single track. Just take advantage of the stress, the tires and pass Smith. Well, it's difficult, of course. Unlucky, he was starting on the hard tires, and safety car wasn't ideal for him. Which is now a bit of a back foot with these older tires.
Xavier going past Soze. Oh, and now
very important move. Now he needs to see that he can get into the DRS of the two guys ahead of him. Could become easy if they continue fighting.
This is very close between Bobo, Soze and Jules. Bobo trying to go around the outside of Soze. Oh, and just pulling it off.
It's a nice move. So it's quite difficult to drive side by side through Sector 3 for a very fast section. You can easily bump into each other.
Jules will be trying next to get past Soze, who unfortunately, as I say that, he spins out of turn 1 and he's got serious wing damage. Commentators cursed him there very badly.
What a shame.
And with that, we've got the front 5 again that we had at the start in a slightly different order, and with Xavier, Bobo and Jules on fresher tyres, chasing after Chris and Anthony. And in fact, Xavier has already got himself within DRS of the front 2. So we are pretty much back to the way we were at the start, just with a slightly different order. Jules is going to have to work hard to catch up. He's also got a 3-second penalty for track limit violations, so his race is going to be a bit tricky from here. Super close between Chris, Ant and Xavier.
Yeah, he's managed to close the gap. Oh, he goes for the move that Verstappen did on Hamilton. Always remember this corner for this.
Yeah. And this could be trouble for Chris. Although they haven't really caught up as much as I thought they might have done.
Oh, he got this was really late on the break. That
was so close.
It's everything should be fine. It was just a little gap.
Here comes Bobo.
Oh, now he's trying to go around the outside. Yeah, he's got more grip, of course. He pulls it off.
Yeah, the outside became the inside.
Yeah, now he's.
Yeah, now he's closed that off now.
Wow, really nice move. Like, let's see where they can build the gap. And of course, he doesn't have the pit, so if there's no safety car coming, and he's gonna have at least a pit stop between them once Chris and Ant have pitted. It gets interesting. It will be really interesting to see whether they can actually close down Chris.
Oh, my God. Chris!
I just saw it.
Wow. Surprising to see that there. I wonder if that's the tyre wear.
I mean, yeah, it's quite unusual to see it there because even in the race trim, usually you don't lose the car that easily at that place. But maybe there was some dirty air as well.
Oh, contact between. Yeah.
I don't know what. I saw it in the onboard and couldn't really see much from there, but yeah, and pushed off the track at least. I don't know if there was enough space in it.
Yeah, I didn't really tell from my angle either.
Good news for Bobo, who could, and Xavier, who are now out of the DRS. Interestingly, Bobo could follow through, so he's sticking with Xavier for now.
Oh wow, he's really closing in and going side by side down to turn 5 again. And yeah, he's done it before the use of DRS, and he's actually, well, no, he doesn't have DRS. I thought he might have done, but it looks like Xavier was behind by the time they got to the detection point.
Maybe he did this intentionally.
Maybe, yeah.
But now Bobo's gonna have DRS again, and he's super close.
Yep. So he's just going to take it right back.
Really fast right now.
Yep, very easy. Ooh, Xavier though on the inside still, but Bobo, there's a yellow flag as well. What is that for? 17. That's for B17.
Brown.
He's got going again.
Yeah, the chicane, maybe there was contact.
Ninja and Lou having a nice battle. But Ninja staying ahead. And Chris Bailey is actually coming under pressure now from Martin and Laupi further back. So that tyre wear really starting to hurt him. And the same for Anthony, to be honest. Dropping away from Jules, who's just outside of DRS range from the front two. And Xavier's going to go into the lead once more.
Yeah, yeah, Jules actually got DRS as well again, so he got back into it. So I mean, of course, for us as viewers, it's very exciting to watch a battle for first place going on for multiple laps. But from their point of view, maybe it wasn't that smart because now they let somebody else join them. Because in this game, it's just so important whether you are in the DRS train or not. Like, it can really, being out of it by 1/10, and at a crucial point can ruin your race. I had experienced this myself um, this season, multiple times actually. It's crazy, I think,
Yeah, it's
because once you
certainly.
drop out of it, you don't get back into it easily if there's no infighting, and the gap will just get bigger because you're not. If you're at the same pace, you know, how can you make up like the sometimes 6 or 7 tenths you're losing straight?
Yeah, yeah, it's certainly an effect that feels more pronounced this year than ever before. Lorpy now looking to go past Chris, who is really struggling with the age of his tyres. Lorpy actually stays behind for the time being. And it really does look like being a battle between just the front three now. Xavier, Bobo and Jules fighting each other, separated by less than a second, all three of them. You can see Anthony in the background there, just falling away gradually, and he's also still got to make a pit stop. Another safety car would certainly help for Anthony and Chris. And Lou now coming into the pits, and Smith, so they are
Oh,
getting rid of their
oh,
hard tyres.
P17, yeah, I think, yeah, he hit the wall, unfortunately, with a damaged front wing.
Oh, and he's missed the entry to the pit lane with the damage. Oh, that's not good.
Ah, yeah, not his race today.
Xavier looked a bit sideways through turn 9, but managed to hold the car and not noticeably lose any time. But this situation for these three, really, it's all about managing tyres and ERS as well, as they come up to lap the Red Bull there of B17. Yeah, I don't know if Bobo and Jules now are just starting to take it a bit easier and, like I say, save up a bit on the ERS to try and go for an attack later in the race. Let's see what Bobo does. Yeah, he's looks like he's just tucking in behind Xavier for the time being.
Yeah, it looks as if for now no one really wants to attack or go for the lead. It's after a lot of fighting, there haven't been any position changes for 3 or 4 laps now. So, I mean, we are approaching the last third of the race, and maybe people want to save up some ERS or save their tires as well. We shouldn't forget about that. They already have, they are already 12 laps old, so yeah. By the way, Chris and Ant are still out on their tires. I mean, They could have, well, pitted by now and go on the mediums, but I guess they're just hoping for a safety car now because they know that in 10 laps it's not going to be possible to close their, I don't know, 25-second gap or even more. Actually, Volvo has taken the lead.
Jules is tucked right up behind Saviour as well. Saviour coming back at Bobo, going around the outside, and that's going to give him the inside now for this triple right-hander. Will he be able to pull it off? Bobo holding on to it. Bobo didn't want to give that up. And I think he just got past single track for P6, and in fact Chris before as well overtook single track for 5th place. So, well, as Chris goes wide on the exit of turn 1, but looks like the grip has come back to him a little bit in the last few laps, even though he's now on his 20th lap on this set of tyres.
Maybe it has. So, I'm seriously wondering why they're not hitting, but Xavier really late on the brakes. It just makes the corner, but I think, yeah, Bobo can easily do the switch back. But now take a look at Jules. Jules is going to come at both of them. Yeah, smart decision by Jules. Go on, Jules. Would have ultimately there, would have been a crash. Yeah, Xavier back into the lead for now.
And we've still got 9 laps of this to go. It's just impossible to know in these situations ultimately who is going to come out on top. It's back and forth all the time. And Anthony once again not pitting.
So just a bit of a tactical game now. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Jules already has a 3-second time penalty. Maybe Xavier or Bobo also have some warnings and they need to take care of that. So it's not, and they are so close together, it's not the most important thing who is in the lead right now. This will go down to the last lap, I guess, and I hope. I think I have 3 guys fighting for the win in the final race of this MRC season, so at least something exciting to watch.
Yeah. It's certainly shaping up that way, although Saviour's pulled out a little bit of a gap on Bobo here, 8 tenths. Bobo's just going to have to be careful. That gap is still growing. It's 9 tenths. And it's now a second. I wonder if... Oh, Bobo's gone round at the final corner. And that makes it now a 2-horse race. And Bobo, again, as he had in qualifying, a spin that ruins his chances.
I mean, at least he's got no damage, but it's definitely so frustrating. Yeah, okay, now the fight is down to 2, and since Xavier doesn't have a time penalty, but Jules has, it's Xavier can play this tactically. He doesn't need to cross the line in first place. He just needs to stick with Jules if Jules passes him. So yeah, that makes it a little bit less stressful, but unfortunately also a little bit less exciting from a neutral point of view. But Ant and Chris are still going, so it doesn't seem to be a huge issue to go more than 20 laps on the hard ice, although there's a bit of a train forming behind Chris now, so yeah, they are far from ideal, obviously, at this point.
It's almost getting to the point where, yeah, the softs could be the tyre for Anthony and Chris when they
See a
do pit.
change for the lead now. Yeah, obviously Alex is not really fighting Jules.
Yeah, it's such a shame about that 3 second because it's really determined the order here.
Oh, Alex went a bit wide there. He tried to come back at Jules, but not gonna work like that.
Yellow flag, sector 2. Oh, and Chris and Laupi going side by side as well. Laupi up to 5th. Single track is right behind them as well. Whatever the yellow flag was for, it's all cleared up now. Yeah, this is probably the best battle on track at the moment between Laupi, Chris and single track. Bobo now picking up a 3 second penalty just to make his evening worse.
Yeah, that's he could have at least regained the podium spot, but now that's going to be very difficult because even if he passes Ant, which I think he can, he will have to open a 3 second gap. So I'm not sure whether he will.
Well, Anthony still has to pit as well.
Oh, almost 3 wide there going there. Single track Lofty and Chris. Single track is running out of the road. But yeah, I don't know what Ant and Chris are gonna do. It don't feel like this Alex Albon strategy of pitting on the last lap of soft tires. Oh, Chris is gonna 2 seconds now.
Yeah, there's really going to have to be a safety car in the next 2 or 3 laps, otherwise it'll be too late. Maybe they'll just come in at the end of lap 28, do 1 lap on the softs. Leave it at that.
Oh, Alex shoots fighting back at Alex. Wow, but he makes the corner. Wow, that was some really nice defending from Droots. Took a risk on the brakes, but yeah, he executed as well.
Bobo is going to have a chance here against Anthony and easily takes 3rd.
Yeah, well, I obviously, Bobo can still, or will probably still finish it there because, and obviously has to pit still. I completely forgot about that. So, yeah, no matter his 3 seconds, he's gonna stay in third as it stands.
Yeah, he's still carrying on with those hards for now. And I'm sure Chris will be doing the same, because it's fun just to be in the battle. If they pit now, they're just going to be out on track on their own pretty much. So they'd much rather be having these battles with the likes of Bobo and Laupi and single track.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if we're gonna see a puncture. I have no idea how it looks. How many percentage they've got, how high the tire wear is.
Well, just looking on board for Chris and for Anthony, there's no visual sign of the tyres degrading really.
Oh, Jules and Alex side by side.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, wow, I like that they're still really going for it. You know, they are not just letting it. They're not driving to the end also. They're still pushing hard, and who knows? It maybe if Alex gets a time penalty now, this is a completely open story, and it can easily happen on this track.
Yeah.
Not, it's not the track with the most time penalties, but there are places, for example, in turn one, where you can easily uh, get a warning. There is often a lot of understeer, and then you're running over the line very quickly.
Anthony has gone back through ahead of Bobo into third. But Bobo now coming back once again with the DRS. I really don't know how Ant and Chris are still doing this at this point. Keeping themselves on track.
I'm surprised they can still stay ahead of single track. Well, to be fair, single track and Lopi also have 20 laps or tires, so it's not as if they are.
Oh, Bobo
Oh,
has
Bobo's
gone
round again.
off. Yeah. Wow, so that's... Well, is he now going to lose out to Chris? I think he's got wing damage, so yeah, he's going to drop back. And Anthony is pitting.
Yes, he had. Well, he had to now. Oh, Bobo does the same. Oh, he
Yeah.
spun a bit late.
Oh no. Oh dear. And he's
Oh, he's
disqualified.
disqualified. Yeah, I was about to say if he doesn't get going immediately.
Right.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, he's left the session. Yeah, that's not the way we wanted this race to end. So Chris is now. We see the soft tires indeed. Well, I guess for 2 laps they will be fine. So Chris can still try to get the fastest lap of the race. But now we have a new fight for the podium. It's Loki and single track, and Loki's in a very good position because he has no time penalty, unlike single track. But I just see Ant is 6 seconds behind them with much faster tires, but just 2 laps. I don't think he will be able to make up for that.
As we start the final lap, I don't know what's happened, but my game sound has gone completely. So I've literally got no car sounds or anything. I've just got the visual. So apologies for people watching on the stream. This is, well, it's come back again. It keeps kind of coming and going, but hopefully it stays with us now as we come to the first DRS straight for the final time. And Saviour.
Armax round, yeah, but
Xavier, is he trying
Yeah,
to stay behind? I think so.
so
So he
the
gets the
last
DRS
fight
again.
of this season, yeah, we fighting for the DRS there. When they're nice as Xavier got it, and yeah, training his battery now, and he takes the lead. Yeah, he does so. Well,
Trying.
actually, 4 seconds in one lap. He's almost closing in on Lopi and single track, who's still fighting, but I think now Lopi is ahead, and it will be Lopi's podium. And Xavier and Jude are through, so Xavier wins the last race of the season. But what's gonna happen with the fight for the podium?
Yeah.
Oh, and this
Think
has
Laupe.
actually caught up to them, but it's just too late.
He'll take P4 because of Martin's penalty, but Laupe does take the third podium spot. Anthony takes fastest lap as well. Can Chris take it back from him on the softs as he comes across the line? Let's find out right now. Yes, he does. Into the 24s with that,
24.
but he loses a place to Lou in the Aston Martin because of penalties. Kaiser Soze crosses the line down in 8th place. Scottish Ninja is 9th. B17 has retired. Everyone has crossed the line. I still don't have any game sound. It's such an anticlimax on the stream, but there you go. That's just F124, folks. Bit of a shame, really, but that is it. That is it for season 15 of MRC in the Xtreme tier. And we had a question on the stream in the chat about who's leading the Xtreme tier, which is a very good question. And it's actually, well, I don't know now. I think Smith had wrapped up the championship before we got here from Laupe and Xavier. And I don't think that the results tonight will change any of that. So I do believe that Smith is the winner of the championship, despite not having a great day today. But final results rundown. Xavier takes the victory from Jules. Laupe in third place from 10th on the grid, so he did very well today. Anthony P4, single track P5, Lou in 6th, Chris in 7th, Soze in 8th, Scottish Ninja in 9th, Smith in 10th, Armour Red 11th, B17 12th and a lap down, and Bobo, unfortunately, just not his day with that late disqualification for blocking the pit lane in, well, he's disqualified, so he doesn't count as P13. But there we go. LRL driver of the day, who would you say?
I think I gotta agree with this game and say Lopi.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he had a very clean race, and I think it was, I don't know if it was his first podium in the season or so, but at least really nice. And for him, I think he did a great job.
Yeah, he did very well indeed. So well done to him. Well done to Xavier on the win. And that is it now for the season. No more from season 15 in MRC. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Please do stay tuned, stay subscribed. There will be, of course, announcements coming up very soon for season 16. A new championship, new driver lineups, new cars. Well, car and driver lineup combos, I should say.
I wish.
So, yeah. So that will all be very exciting, and yeah, definitely stick around for that. But for the time being, thank you very much for joining us, and we wish you all a very good evening. And yeah, take care.
Take care, guys. Bye.